Hey guys, welcome to Beyond Bricks. I'm Kevin Stewart. I am so excited to be with you guys today. And I'm going to start off today with actually sharing with you guys a little bit of an oops. So I told you guys I was going to come on here once a week, set up some specific time inside my calendar to make sure that I was always on time, doing my non-negotiables, setting all those things aside. And you want to know what, guys? Last week I messed up. I completely screwed up. I did not schedule my Thursday correctly, the day that I have down in my calendar to be prepared, be ready to go, and to create this content and create this information for you guys. Because truthfully, this isn't about me. This isn't about anything that I am, but it's about giving to you guys everything that I am and giving to you guys all the knowledge and the things that I've learned over the course of my career. But I know something about myself, which is that if I don't have things down specifically in a calendar and don't protect that properly, I tend to make the mistake and not always complete the process. So first thing I have to share with you guys today is a little bit of talking about dealing with that type of thing. So I've done a very poor job over my career of being very, very hard on myself. I've been someone who, if I don't hit the mark every single time, will tend to really get upset. And what I do is then I quit. I've had the tendency in my life to not continue on. And what I've had to learn in the last 6 months, and one of the huge lessons that I've learned in the last 6 months, is to give myself grace, when I don't hit the mark perfectly. So I think that's a lot of the reason that people don't complete goals and don't complete the things that they want to do, is because they feel like if they mess up once or twice or once a week or once a month, that, oh man, let's just completely scrap the whole idea. Let's scrap the whole thing. I got into a really, really great conversation with a dear friend of mine just this past week, and we had this exact conversation. We had a conversation about how we both need to hold each other accountable to giving each other and ourselves grace, to letting it be okay when we don't hit the mark perfectly. If we're really focusing this week on eating, consciously eating well, and we, have a meal where we don't necessarily do that. Let's say, Sunday nights, my family loves to have pizza. Guys, I'm going to eat pizza with my family because I care dearly to spend time with my family. And I'm not going to be that difficult on myself if I'm trying to lose weight and commit to an eating program and not have a pizza with my kids. I'm just not going to. I'm going to give myself some grace, give myself a little bit of leniency, because I still want to enjoy and live my life. I want my life to be something that's involved and something that's fun and enjoyable and exciting. And I think that one of the mistakes that I've made is that over the years, I felt, okay, if I'm going to dedicate myself to a diet, I have to be perfect on that diet. I'm not going to allow myself to stray at all. And then when I do stray, I get upset and frustrated with myself. And then I stray more and more and more. And all of a sudden, I'm completely out of sync, completely out of the mix. Instead of saying, you know what, it's okay. I'm going to have a meal, and it's not going to be the perfect meal. It's not necessarily the healthiest thing I should eat, but you want to know what? It'll be okay. And tomorrow I'm going to jump right back on it. So I wanted to share that with you guys because it was a reminder to me that, you know what? I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to knock this out of the park every single time. But what I am going to do is commit to jump back on, to continue going. I heard the quote a long time ago that motivation gets you started, but in time that fades. Motivation gets you started, but commitment creates the results and the success. Being committed to that in the non-negotiables that I've set forward is that we talked about that in previous episodes, is to be committed. Be someone who's constantly committed to the things that you want to do. So guys, are you committed? The first challenge of today is to ask yourself, are you committed, or are you just motivated right now? Because motivation is easy. That's why it's March. And I bet you, those of you who started with the workout program, if you're still going, you may be one of those people that have already stopped as well. But if you're still going, I bet you're noticing that at the gym, it doesn't look like it did 2 months ago. The second week of January looks a whole lot different than March when it comes to the gym. It just does, because people are motivated at the beginning of the year, but they're not committed. The motivation is what gets you started, but the commitment is what keeps you going. The commitment is what's ultimately going to produce the results that you want. But along the way, during that commitment, are you giving yourself grace? Are you giving yourself an allowance to say, look, I'm not going to be perfect. It's just not possible. Perfection is absolutely impossible, but the intent to continue and the intent to grow and daily be a little better is what's important. So my team right now, we've been doing a lot of reading this year, and we've been trying to, or have been doing a commitment to make sure that we are constantly growing, constantly learning. And so the book that we're reading right now is called The 1% Rule. I love it. If you haven't had a chance to read it, I recommend that you go pick it up. It's very, very good about talking about how we need to increase by 1%. What are the small things, the little things that we're doing every single day to get better, to have a little bit of growth? You've heard me talk about Kobe Bryant and Mamba mentality on this podcast already. That's a big theme of ours this year is the constant want and need to be better today than we were yesterday. It's working through that process. It's enjoying and falling in love and being fully committed to the process, not being so tied up with the results, but being tied up with what am I doing today? What's the process, and falling in love with that process. So this 1% rule has been a theme of ours, and it's turned into a theme of ours. So first off, I want to share with you guys the way that we are looking to let the 1% rule progress our company on a daily basis, and a check mark for us, a check mark of success that's based on activity and not necessarily results. So the first thing we're trying to do every single day is we're trying to progress by 1%, not make massive mountain changes, but by 1%, we would like to progress our pipeline. So our pipeline, I own a real estate brokerage. We sell real estate. That's what I do by profession. And we always want to be progressing our pipeline, meaning get somebody maybe from a lead to a prospect, somebody from a phone call to an actual appointment, from an appointment to actually going in and looking at property, from there to a contract, from there to a deal, working people through that process. We want to make that 1% better every day. So are we doing something today? Did we do an activity today? Did everybody do an activity today that moved the needle, moved the pipeline by 1%? Every single day, are you doing something inside your company, inside your business, to move the needle by 1% every day? I believe that the success that we find in business and the success that we find in the value that we bring to our company is very, very heavily measured by your ability to move that needle. You know, I believe that people can find a way to earn more money inside their profession by doing two things. One, learn a new skill. Or two, ring the cash register. If you do those two things for your company every single day, I guarantee you will progress inside your career. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. It does not matter. If you can find a way to do those things for your company, you will progress in your career. So what are you doing? What's your 1% that you are moving the needle to help move your company's pipeline every day? So that's our first thing. Our second thing that we're focusing on is what's one way that we are moving our process? Are we making our process better by 1% every day? Our process is very important to us. We believe in people and process here at this company. We believe that people are the source of our business. People are the source of why we do what we want to do. We want to take care and love people. It's super important. But our process is what makes us great. Our process and our commitment to making sure that the process we have every single day is dialed in is extremely important to how those people perceive our company. So are we improving our process by 1% every day? What's one thing that you're doing inside your work life every single day that's moving the needle by 1%, making your process cleaner, a little smoother, a little bit more detailed, a little bit more knowing what you're doing the next minute that's going to help you down the road? What are you doing to help improve your process? The third thing that we're focusing on every day, and this is the one that I really love, and I love the place and the space in which we're at right now on this one, but the third that we want to move by 1% every single day is we want to work on our culture as a company. What are we doing with each other? Are we taking care of each other? Are we involved in each other's lives? What are we doing to improve our company culture every single day? that's one that I enjoy. After I finish this, we're actually going to go out to lunch together. We're going to enjoy some time together. We're trying to do things like that every single day to make sure that we're not just working with each other, but we're actually living life with each other. I find that super important because, guys, that's what I want to be. That's what I want the company that I'm a part of and the company that I get the joy of leading. I want that to be. I want it to be a company that has an incredible culture, that takes care of each other and loves each other and lives inside this beautiful space together. So those are the ways in which we want to move the needle 1%. And guys, again, we're not talking about massive, crazy, off the charts changes. Those will happen in time. But what are you doing every single day to move the needle by 1%? Those are just the three that we're focusing on. But break down for yourself, what are the spaces and the places in which you are working and trying to find a way to grow every single day? Because if you're not growing, you're retracting. There is no middle ground. I don't believe in a middle ground. I think stagnation is impossible. I think people believe, oh, I'm just going to coast. I don't think coasting is a real thing. I 100% believe that you have to be progressing. You're going forwards or you're going backwards. There's just no in between there. And so what are you doing to move that needle forward? What are you doing to progress that needle forward? So that's just kind of where I wanted to start today, is I wanted to share that with you because, I want everybody here to move their needle by 1%. I want them to do that every single day and find ways that over the course of a month, over the course of 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, if you move the needle 1% in the different spaces in your life every single day, goodness, just think what your life could be and think what you could progress towards. I love that idea. I love the idea of growth. And I sent this to my team this morning. I said, if you grow through what you go through. And a lot of times we get too focused on not finding and not understanding and not going through those spaces and accepting them. And what we do is we get frustrated and so we stop. We talked about that a minute ago. And so I wanted to find one thing for you guys. I want to break down success, a success formula. Next thing I want to talk about is a success formula. So what does success look like? I believe it's broken down into 4 things. I think success is about 10% skill. We talked about on episode 3, the 10 things that you can do every single day that don't create any special skills. They don't have to have any special skills. But I do believe that success requires skill. You got to have some skills and you have to develop those skills. It is very important. You got to have talent. You got to have some talent that you can develop into a skill that's going to help you progress forward. But I think that's only 10% of success. I think the second part of success that is about 25% is preparation. Are you prepared? What kind of preparation are you putting into your daily activities? Guys, I didn't have enough preparation, which is why I missed the mark on recording last week. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't 100% sure what direction I wanted to go with the next episode. So what did I do? I didn't do anything. I sat and I thought about it. I overthought it instead of sitting down and saying, okay, this is where I want to go, this direction, make a decision and go. Do the best you can. It's okay. Do your best. Your best is good enough. I've always believed in that thought and that idea. But preparation matters. If you're not prepared, you're not going to have the ability to move through your day and move through your life. Success, the next 15%, I believe, is celebration. We have to love the things that we do. We have to be willing and able to celebrate the success that we have. We have to look at ourselves and pat ourselves in the back and say, you did a good job today. We don't need to be so harsh on ourselves. We don't need to constantly be beating our heads against the wall saying, why didn't I? Why can't I? That's a huge mistake. Guys, celebrate your success. Learn to love the things that you do and learn to be proud of the things that you do and be happy and love the things that you do. So 15% of success is found in the celebration, celebrating the things that you do. That leaves us 50%. What is the other 50% of success? This is what I believe the second half of success is found in pain and sacrifice. It's found in pain and sacrifice. It's what you go through. I said it when I started on this route is you grow through what you go through. I heard that quote from Tony Robbins, and there's a second one that I'm gonna lay into here that I believe holistically is a huge avenue and a huge route to success. He said, "Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people, and strong people create good times." I have watched this cycle. I have seen this cycle inside my career, and I've seen this cycle inside my industry. I've seen this cycle inside family. I've seen this cycle inside of friends. And I believe that, good times, people sit back. They want to coast. They want to go back into the idea of, oh, I can just coast. It's fine. I'm just going to maintain. Every time I've ever tried to maintain a weight or a workout program, I completely fall apart. Maintenance is not a thing. I'm going to maintain a certain, a certain weight or a certain this. That is really hard to do. I believe you have to find a way to progress, find a way to get better, find a way to get stronger, try to find a way to get faster. You have to have a goal. You have to have something you're shooting for. If your goal is just to maintain, you are in the process of going backwards. I promise you, you're in the process of going backwards, because good times create weak people. It creates people that aren't pushing forward. It creates a weakness inside of us. Weak people create bad times. Things tend to fall apart when you become weak. Your life does not become what you want it to be. It creates weakness, and therefore your life does not progress forward. It goes backwards. But then what happens in bad times? Bad times, that's what creates strong people. When things get tough, our industry, the real estate industry in 2023 was absolutely brutal. It was absolutely brutal. One of the toughest years, I would argue the hardest year I've had in my career, in a 19-year career. And guys, keep in mind, I learned how to sell real estate in 2008. The crash of 2007, 2008, that's when I learned how to do it. I would argue 2023 was harder in a lot of ways. There was a lot about it that was more difficult, but I think that created strength. I know it created strength for my company. I know it created strength for a lot of the people that I'm around. I know it created strength for a lot of people inside the industry. It also broke a lot of people. It also took people completely out in a way because it was hard. And people aren't willing to do things that are hard. But when things are hard, that's what creates strong people. And then strong people can create good times. I believe the strength that the pain and the frustration and the sacrifice that we had to go through last year, that pain is what put us where we are today. That's what put me where I am today. It's what put me with the mindset to sit here and have a conversation with a computer screen, for 20 or 30 minutes to share with you guys what we're doing. It was the hard times that did that, because when times were good, when times were great, what did I do? Took the foot off the pedal. I backed off. I didn't even know I was doing it, but I did it. But the hard times is what put that back in motion. The hard times, going through the pain, the 50% of success is found in the pain and the sacrifice that you have to do every single day to get back on track. The non-negotiables, the 7 things that I've set out to be a life motto for me. The setting out the 3 types of people that I want to be around, the 3 characteristics I have to be around. All this stuff came out of hard times. All of it came out of difficulty and pain and frustration. It's things that I knew, I'd heard about, but I'd never committed to. Again, I started because I got excited, but I now am implementing properly because I'm committed. I'm committed to making this who I am. 100% committed to making this who I am. So, starting strong, it's all about preparation. Starting strong is about preparation. Finishing strong is about the dedication. I want you to finish strong, so therefore I want you to find a way to be dedicated. Are you dedicated to the things that you are wanting to do every single day? Are you dedicated to being the best person that you can be every single day? Do you have a plan? Are you prepared? Are you working on your skills? Are you doing things? Are you putting in the work in order to give yourself the best opportunity you can to move your needle by 1%? What daily activities? So my challenge for you this time, my challenge for you, if you're listening to this right now, is I want you to grab a piece of paper. If you're listening to this in your car, make some mental notes, but as soon as you can, take some time to reflect. Write down, what are the 3 places, the 3 things in your life, whether it's your work life, your family life, your work-life balance, your relationship with your children, it doesn't matter. but what are the 3 places in your life that you want to commit to move the needle 1%? What are the 3 places you're going to say, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move every single day. I'm going to make a commitment to get 1% better every single day. You have to decide what those 3 pieces are. Like I said, for my company, we decided it was that we were going to move our pipeline, we're going to move our process, and we're going to move our culture. We're going to move those 3 things. And we know that if we do that every single day, if we can do that just a little bit every single day, what do we look like in 6 months, in 1 year? How great of a company have we built? How great of resources have we been able to build for our family? Because instead of focusing on results, we're focusing on activity this year. We are going to be dedicated to focusing on creation of activity and the creation of growth every single day. So write down and be committed to 3 things. Take 3 things and say, every day I'm going to focus on moving the needle. And at the end of the day, give yourself a test. Say, did I do that? Did I move the needle by 1% today on that? Did I get a little better? Just a little bit better. You don't have to move mountains, but you do have to take a step. So what step did you take inside those areas? That's my challenge for you guys this week. As you're listening to this, as you're working through that, take the time to write that down. Put it up in front of you. It rotates on the screen inside of our office every single day. Why? Because we need to see it. We need to be reminded that this is what we have committed to. Because we can say it, we can get excited, we can get pumped up about it, because that's going to get us started. That's motivation. The motivation is going to get us started, but it's the commitment that's going to create the results. And you have to have the commitment right there in front of you, staring you at in the face every day. And then along the way, give yourself some grace, guys. The grace matters. You're not going to be perfect. There's no way you're going to be perfect. But when you're not, give yourself some grace to keep going, because that grace is going to help you keep going. It's going to continue to help you progress into the person that you want to be and the person that you're meant to become. And guys, always remember, be yourself, be the best version of yourself. And because the world needs it, guys, the world needs you to be you. You're put on this earth for a purpose. So be yourself, because the world needs you. Have a good day, guys. Bye.